Yeah.
Amazing audience, we are live at the Red Rocks, and we've just had a visit from Avital. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Avital Miller. Right, so she's passing by to have a conversation. Thanks to Gordon, right? Like, definitely thanks to Gordon for creating this opportunity.
Yeah.
So, Avital Miller, great pleasure.
Very good to meet you.
Same here, same here. Please tell us which of your talents is responsible for us meeting at this time.
It's probably this book,
Sweet.
Healing Happens, Stories of Healing Against All Odds. If we go back a little bit in the history of my life, I actually was program manager at Microsoft.
Oh, really?
I was a mechanical engineer, so I had a very science mind. And I didn't like that line of work. I quit, I traveled the world, and then I became a yoga and fitness instructor. But I was a fitness director, I was a teacher trainer, I was teaching 25 to 30 classes all over town. And then I started to have health issues at age 27 when I was known as the Energizer Bunny. You wouldn't expect this, I didn't expect it. And, my hair was falling out, my muscles were turning to fat, I was becoming weaker than my students. Imagine if you lost the ability to speak, you wouldn't be able to have these conversations.
Yeah, that's scary.
It can be frustrating. And I went to the doctor, and I feel like it was a very common scenario. I was given a diagnosis of an autoimmune disorder called Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism. I was given a large dosage of medication, a handful of supplements, and then just sent out the door saying that's it for life. I thought, all right, if that's it for life, I better learn a little bit about this. But over time, the doctor started tapering me off of the medicine.
All right.
And I realized, well, my goodness, if that can happen to me, what can happen for other people? And then I started meeting people as I was sharing what I learned around the world. And I would meet people who were told they're going to die in a few months or a few hours. And then I thought, well, if there's this many people that this is happening to, more people need to know that this potential exists out there. And I gathered those people together, and they're all health and healing experts of all different kinds, so both East and West medicine. I don't discriminate, as long as there's somebody that is going above and beyond the usual. And they have a very clear established practice. They've been helping a lot of people. So there's 17 interviews in the book, as well as my story. So we get the inspiration of people overcoming these seemingly insurmountable challenges. And then we get the insight as to what do they do, how do we go about healing no matter what path we choose, and exercises that people can do in just a minute or two to rapidly change the way that they feel and their state of health and their joy level. And I love sharing that through writing and through speaking.
Oh, that's
so I
intriguing.
launched the book, and now I get to travel around and talk about it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. So the 17 stories are individuals who function at the level you do, that you interviewed. Did I get that clearly? Or is it 17 people that you worked with?
So the people I interviewed are all different kinds of health and healing experts.
Understood.
Yeah, and some of them, their stories are more about other people than themselves. Not every one of them had their own drastic story.
So,
some of them, they're functioning the way I do. Some of them are probably functioning better than the way I do.
yeah, understood. What was the purpose of getting the people who are functioning at this level? What was that? What was the purpose behind that, to share that story?
Why did I want to share it?
Yeah.
I felt like if this type of potential exists out there, then I want to open that door for other people.
Understood.
Because so many of us, and I don't want to trash doctors, and they have to be realistic with what they've commonly seen and be real to tell people that. And there's so many people where things have happened differently than the prognosis from their doctor. So we don't need to be stuck on, you go to your doctor's office and they say you're stuck with this disease for life. You're on medicine for life. You're never going to walk again. You have 6 months to live.
Yeah.
Whatever that prognosis may be, that's not the story for everyone. But then it gets to this place where these people were able to turn that story around for others. So it may not just be luck.
Yeah.
There maybe things that we can do at least to feel better in the process.
Yeah. So who did you learn that from, that ability to be the ambassador for others?
Gosh, I mean, I think I had an inspiration always to share what inspires me. I had a spiritual teacher who said it's bliss's nature to want to share itself. So that inspiration, I think that's part of my makeup. I've been teaching, standing in front of a group and talking to them and sharing with them probably since junior high school.
Wow.
At all different types of capacities. And since then I've been taking training on how to do it in the best way possible. And I continue to evolve and see where else I can continue to evolve with that. When you are an entrepreneur and you open the door to spend time with other entrepreneurs, as you probably notice from interviewing so many people, when I talk about these stories of people overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges, this isn't just about health. This is about so many areas of our lives. When you go to these trainings and you're among these people that are so inspired and they see the sky as this limit. We have this beautiful, vast sky here that we can see from this wonderful spot that you chose. And so everyone's encouraging you to reach for the stars or beyond the stars. That environment just helps even open it up more.
It does. Well, where's the best place for people to connect with you?
The best place to connect with me, one of the places where you can get the most personal connection is actually through Facebook.
I love Facebook.
And you can literally just look up my name, Avital Miller. So that's spelled A, V for victory, I, T for talented, A-L. A lifetime to figure out how to say my name.
I love that.
And then Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R.
Love that.
But I do have a website. You can do the one, avitalmiller.com. Healinghappensbook.com is where you can go to access the book and all the other resources that I'm sharing, a podcast, a blog. So there's things that you can get for free and then start learning from
The podcast
what the
as
book
well.
has to offer. I do. I have a podcast.
Really? And the name of the
Yes.
podcast is?
Healing Happens.
Oh, there we go. That's wonderful. So
Healing
on that, you
Happens.
interview even more people who are in this sphere as well of influence. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I do.
What's one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
It's really been developing myself and my business.
Okay.
3 years ago, literally, about 3 years ago, I was living a very different life. I lived in a spiritual community out in the woods.
Sweet.
And then I decided, this isn't quite for me anymore, and I want to step out into the world. I was having so many ideas come to me, so I said, let's manifest this. And that's what I've been working on consistently for the past 3 years.
How does that make you feel moving out from that safe place? I'm guessing it was very safe, right? In that it's a place where you do not need to be sharing with others who do not believe what you believe, right? But is that accurate? No?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it can feel safe. But when it's not the right thing, in some ways it feels like the most unsafe place to be.
Understood.
When I got clear that I had a different vision than what was being set up for me there, and that the vision wasn't supported because it didn't fit in, it's a very unsafe place.
Yeah, I love that. That is a principle of life, though. Because sometimes within families, the things that are being set up for us and the thing that is in alignment with who we need to be or who we are called to be. So yes, I love the way you put that.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Avital.
Yes.
What is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest memory is when I was a baby in the crib. This is what I remember. 'Cause it's hard to know if you really remember your babyhood.
Yeah.
But I always listened growing up. And I always heard my mother's footsteps, whether it was good or bad, coming upstairs. But somehow I knew she was going to be bringing me milk. When I was a baby in the crib.
Yeah.
And I remember just sort of exaggerating the joy that I felt that she was bringing me milk. And I was like, panting with excitement.
How old do you think you were? How old do you think you were in that memory?
few months.
All right. Why do you think that memory is so clear?
Gosh, I mean, who knows, why that memory is so clear, but when I think about what's happening today, I'm teaching people how to create their joy. And this is a very simple thing, that you're getting milk. And I could have just been like, yay, I'm getting milk. But I pumped myself up to be even more excited and enjoy life more. In that simple moment, you're stuck in a crib. A lot of kids would hate that, but I found joy in that space.
That's beautiful. Well, you definitely connected it, right? I love that tremendously. I'm good for that. Like, that's wonderful. Yeah. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I was very funny. I'll tell you, my favorite song was probably Planted on Me by my siblings.
Right.
It actually started when I was 5, because I didn't, in some ways I can be like a nun who's just like hiding in her little cell convent room and not necessarily seeking things from outside. So I lived in silence, except I had a family around me. My brother and sister both loved music, and I would hear things and repeat them.
Right.
So at 5 years old in the playground, my brother is 12 and my sister's 9, so they're a little more aware. I'm singing, like a virgin, touched for the very first time, from Madonna. And they decided that's my favorite song. They egged me on to sing it. They bought me all of Madonna's CDs while growing up, and I've been to a couple of her concerts. She was the only musician I paid attention to growing up. I watched all of her movies.
And there we go.
I loved her strength and creativity.
She sang for us. I love it. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Okay.
Avital, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Just like for movies or just working on a computer?
Yeah, computers, movies, screens. Yeah. More than 8?
I'm on the computer a lot.
Yeah, I think she hit more than 8, yeah. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Avital Miller, what would you say that is?
Live life fully.
I love it. Avital Miller, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
To keep your minds open, because our lives can be a little bit like an onion, and we can peel more and more and more layers, which means our vision can expand, our health can expand, the amount of joy we feel can expand, the amount of abundance in our life in many different layers can expand.
Love it. Avital Miller, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Boom.
Hit the mark.